Anytime you're ready.
Okay, welcome. And we are so very, very happy that you're here for the KYOTE training. We appreciate your time in getting here. We are attempting to have certified scores for the new KYOTE writing exam, as you're aware. We want to make sure that we score this exam in the same fashion, whether it's being scored in Jessamine County, whether it's being scored at Eastern Kentucky University, whether it's being scored at Western, whether it's being scored at Pikeville. So across our state, we want to really make sure, and that wasn't as far west as we could go, but we want to make sure that this is scored in the same way, no matter who is scoring. The KYOTE writing exam was developed by educators like you. It is a statewide effort to create a placement exam that determines college readiness, and the only feature in this exam, although you can get much more out of administering such an exam, is to determine whether a student is college ready, whether a student is not quite ready for that credit-bearing course, or if they go into a credit-bearing course, that course is going to have significant supports for students. So, all in all, the goal of the KYOTE writing exam, like the other KYOTE exams in mathematics and reading, are to help students have another way to determine readiness for credit-bearing coursework that guarantees admission into credit-bearing coursework without the need for remediation of any type. Our high schools are doing, just getting up and really doing well with high school senior year transitional courses, and many of you today are probably working through with high schools or are a part of a high school here in Kentucky, or are a district assessment coordinator, or some other person that is going to be responsible for doing trainings, but touching students so that students understand what it is that we expect as they enter a college credit-bearing writing course. And I will say, we are talking about writing, whether it's in a sociology class, whether it's in that English 101. We're particularly connecting to that because all of our post-secondary colleges and universities, from all of our Kentucky Community and Technical College schools to our universities, all have a communications piece and a writing piece involved in the learning outcomes that they want all students to have for all programs. So this is really, really very important. And I'll tell you, mostly last year we centered around mathematics, but we looked at transitional coursework in our high schools and how important that was to the student and the student's family. And what we found was, last year, over 5,600 students came to readiness in Kentucky as a result of our transitional coursework. That's a savings of $3.2 million in tuition at our post-secondary institutions for these students and their families. That's important. So that's what we're about. We're about making sure that the expectation from high school to college is communicated clearly and effectively, and that when we are talking about what we expect in terms of student writings, that we communicate that with one voice. This piece that we're doing today is around one component, and that is the writing rubric. This is a statewide writing rubric. The writing rubric was developed by educators just like you, as was the KYOTE writing exam. And the writing rubric, we know that you are professionals. And so we're just doing the training around the writing rubric, which may not be very familiar to you. Okay? So you use rubrics every day in terms of writing and scoring writing samples. And maybe you can get your science partners and your social studies partners in your K-12 schools, or your history professors and your psychology professors and your biology professors to use this too, but this is about readiness. And just that differentiation between when they are ready and we're guaranteeing placement into credit-bearing coursework without supports, and when they are not quite yet ready, when they need to build some more foundation. So I welcome you to the council. I thank you for your work. Many of you have helped us review the writing prompts that the students will be using, and I can tell you there was a lot of help in doing that. Around 20 K-12 and post-secondary educators across the state agreed to do that in a very short time frame. So great information, great feedback from everyone. The writing training, we're also looking for feedback on this. Everything that you have today will be free and available online, okay? So we're making sure that as we go through this process that we are making this information free and online. You would need to establish a KYOTE account, and I bet I didn't put that out there, but there's a little half sheet of paper I'll be bringing around to you that helps you establish a KYOTE writing account. We do need you to be scorers. If your school system is going to be using KYOTE, or if your university or college is going to be using the KYOTE writing exam, we need scorers. For a school system, because you see these students in front of you every day, and you know they're writing already, we don't want you to be scoring your exams. So for a school system, they will be scored by another school system, and they will be scoring yours. So we want this to be about scoring the writing that is in front of you and not about a person who's writing that sample. So I know that you understand, and I am, again, very thankful that you're here. The great work that's been done in our state is the envy of almost every other state. We are the only state who has created free online testing for all of our K-12 and post-secondary, and have a common set of learning outcomes that we expect of students who are transitioning to post-secondary, whether it's in a technical and career program or to the workforce. And by the way, we've had workforce involved in doing this as well, in reviewing and doing all the parts and pieces, and they absolutely love, thank you, they absolutely love what we're doing, and they're saying this is the same set of skills that we need students to, workers to have in when they come to work for us. So having these skills in the workplace is the same as it is when they're going to college and university. So alignment is across all areas, and I hope you have a great day. Before the end of this, we'll do, in the next piece of this, we'll be doing a certification exam, and so that you can be a certified scorer for our KYOTE writing exam.
Right.